not in 2027. He also appeals to Nigerians to allow the bills to scale through required legislative processes, stating that the bills were well envisioned for Nigerians. The SGF defended the tax reform bills as visionary legislation designed to rescue the nation's economy, urging Nigerians to support their passage through the National Assembly. Check the Vanguard newspaper for the details. Wait for 2031 presidency, SGF Akume tells Atiku and Northerners.
And from the Punch newspaper, anti-corruption war must begin from the top, says Obasanjo. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has insisted that Nigerians' battle against corruption can only be effective and successful if it begins with accountability among top government officials. The former president argued that tackling corruption at the highest levels of leadership will set an example for others and demonstrates the government's commitment to transparency and integrity. Obasanjo spoke on Sunday night during an interactive session on Zoom tagged Boiling Point Arena. The conversation, which was aired by some private radio station in Abeokuta, Ogun State capital, focused on Obasanjo's legacies in government and his assessment of today's Nigeria. You may want to see further on the Punch newspaper. I read the headline again. Anti-corruption war must begin from the top, says Obasanjo.
Alright, there are indications that the newly introduced foreign exchange market system by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, is the driving force behind the recent massive appreciation of Nigeria's local currency, the Naira, against the world's major currencies. The bank also spoke to newsmen, attributed the appreciation of the Naira to the electronic foreign exchange matching system, which commenced last Monday. In the circular directive plans to go live in the use of Bloomberg B-Match as the electronic foreign exchange matching system for trading activities in the forex market effective December 2nd, 2024, the CBN said banks are strongly advised to liaise with Bloomberg representatives to expedite their onboarding process and address any technical or operational concerns promptly. Check the Vanguard newspaper. Why Naira is in massive recovery race across all markets by bankers.
And from the Punch newspaper, ICYMI, I'm comfortable preaching on streets despite being a billionaire. That is coming from Cosmas Maduka. Cosmas Maduka, an astute entrepreneur and chairman of a renowned conglomerate, the Conquerors Group, in this interview with Stacy Ikomo and Ogenevo Egodi Michael, reflects on his career milestones, guiding principles, and humble beginning as an apprentice in a small auto parts shop to building a multi-billionaire empire spanning automobile sales, agriculture, and manufacturing. You grew up in Jos, a city known for its pristine environment back then. How would you describe your childhood experience? That is the question asked by the interviewer there. One of the highlights of my childhood was when my father would drive me to a white man's bakery to buy bread. They were the bakers at the time. Jos was a beautiful place, and I vividly remember the cold weather. I was only 4 years old when my father passed away, and life became rough as we had to return to the village. His death was another unforgettable moment for me. I recall that after my father's death, there was a festival at our house with masquerade and a large crowd. That was his response to the interview. If you want to see further of this and more, go to the Punch newspaper. ICYMI, I'm comfortable preaching on streets despite being a billionaire. Cosmas Maduka.
Alright, Cross River local government personnel abandoned council headquarters over accessibility challenges. Despite the election of a new chairman in Boki local government area of Cross River State, more than 95% of the personnel of the council do not go to work. This is because the workers are not able to access the headquarters of the council situated at Bojethan due to loneliness, topography risks, and long distance. As a result of this, even the local government chairman, Etieka Beatrice Etanyam, finds it very difficult to go to her office to perform official tasks. Check the Daily Post newspaper. Cross River local government personnel abandon council headquarters over accessibility challenges.
And from the Punch newspaper, Nigeria neighbors begin offensive against new terror group. The Nigerian army and their counterparts in Chad, Niger, and other neighboring countries have commenced joint patrols to contain cross-border threats posed by the Lakurawa terrorist group. Fresh findings by the Punch have revealed. The collaborative efforts aims to restrict the movements of the group, which has been linked to heinous criminal activities in the northern part of Nigeria and its neighbors. This was as Sokoto state government expressed frustration over the difficulty of containing the group due to its weak borders. The Lakurawa group, affiliated with terrorists in the Sahel, particularly from Mali and Niger Republic, became a national security challenge after launching its first audacious attack on November 4. So, if you want to see details of this among can be seen on the New Punch newspaper. Nigeria neighbors begin offensive against new terror group.
All right, Dangote Port Harcourt refineries, Nigerian voice out frustrations amid the high fuel price. Reactions have continued to thrill the persistent high cost of premium motor spirits, PMS, commonly known as petrol in Nigeria. Despite having two functional refineries in the country, Dangote and Port Harcourt refineries, many Nigerians have said the price of fuel was expected to reduce with the coming on board of the two refineries in the country. The Daily Post reports that the first petrol price hike occurred shortly after President Bola Tinubu announced a subsidy removal in May 2023, causing a major price disruption in the petroleum industry. Check the Daily Post newspaper. Nigerians voice out frustrations amid high food price.
And from the Punch newspaper, OPS urges sustainers as Naira gain $135 per Naira. The Naira appreciated by 137.69 against the United States dollar within a week following the introduction of the Central Bank of Nigeria's new foreign exchange platform. Data obtained from the CBN's website on Sunday showed the closing exchange rate, which was 1,672.69 per dollar on Friday, November 29, 2024, rose to 1,535 Naira per dollar at the end of the week on Friday, December 6, 2024, representing an 8.24% gain. This came as some members of the organized private sector urged the CBN to sustain the Naira gain, stressing that this won't benefit the Nigerian economy. The currency's improvement is attributed to the operationalization of the new FX platform as well as higher liquidity and stability in the foreign exchange market. Details of this and more can be seen on the Punch newspaper. OBS urges sustainers as Naira gains $137 per Naira.
All right, a former Social Democratic Party SDP chieftain Kenneth Kaigama has described opposition political parties in Taraba State as docile. Kagame, who at the weekend dumped the SDP for the People's Democratic Party (PDP), expressed despair at the silence of opposition parties in Taraba. He claimed he decided to pitch tents with the PDP because the main opposition party, the All Progressives Congress (APC), has not been able to challenge the ruling PDP in the state. Check the Daily Post, a newspaper. Opposition parties in Taraba are docile. That's coming from Kagame, who declares dumps SDP for PDP.
And from the Punch newspaper this morning, man arrested attempting to divert Mexico-bound flights to the US. A 31-year-old man was arrested on Sunday after he attempted to redirect a domestic flight in Mexico to the United States while it was en route, according to authorities. The Airbus A320 plane, which took off around 7:17 a.m. local time, was bound for the northwest city of Tijuana from the central city of Leon, Guanajuato, but had to make an emergency landing at Guadalajara International Airport about 45 minutes into the flight. The statement read, and I quote, "A subject assaulted a flight attendant and attempted to enter the cockpit to divert the flight to the United States," said a statement from the Secretariat of Security and Civilian Protection. However, crew members were able to subdue the man, who was reportedly traveling with family, and issued an alert to conduct an emergency landing in Guadalajara. Details of this and more can be seen on the Punch newspaper. Man arrested attempting to divert Mexico-bound flight to US.
Alright, Studobo still on the pages of the Punch newspaper. Studobo orders congratulate Mahama as opposition clutches Ghana presidency. President Bola Tinubu on Sunday congratulated President-elect John Mahama on his victory in the December 7 general election in Ghana. This came after his arrival, the country's vice president and ruling party candidate, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, considered defeat on Sunday. Bawumia said he considered a defeat before the official results to ease tensions after reported fights in several local constituencies. Although the Electoral Commission has yet to announce the results, Bawumia's ruling National Democratic Congress said its internal review showed Mahama leading with 56.3% of the votes against its 41.3%. Check a statement signed on Sunday by Tinubu's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Mr. Bayo Nanuga, said, and I quote, "In the telephone calls to Mahama President, Tinubu hold that Mahama's accession to power for the second time would further bring stability to the economic community of West African states, of which President Tinubu is the chairman." End of quote. Check the pages of the Punch newspaper. Tinubu orders congratulates Mahama as opposition clutches Ghana presidency.
From the Vanguard newspaper, fare hike, Keyamo, FCCPC at wall over airpiece. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, and the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, as daggers drawn over airpiece alleged encouragement of other airlines to increase fares. FCCPC had warned airpiece against the ongoing inquiry. Sorry for the mix-up.
All right. Okay. We have this story that embrace farming on massive scale. Live in love, unity. That's coming from Prophet Oluwalo as tells Nigerians. The visionary behind Grace and Mercy Prayer Mountain worldwide, Prophet Sam Oluwalo, has called on Nigerians to return to farming, stressing that agriculture holds the key to revitalizing the nation's economy. Speaking at the grand finale of the 9-day Adamimogo Global Convention in Lagos, the clearly highlighted the collective role citizens must play in ensuring food security. The event reached its emotional peak during the Buluaga Thanksgiving section, where attendees from across the globe joyfully sang and danced in gratitude for the God's blessing over the past year. During the service, Prophet Udala offered prayers for those present as well as the country's development. Check all the national dailies today for more details.
And from the Vanguard newspaper, multiple taxes, ROW issues, vandalism stifling telecom sector. That is coming from the ATCON, HATCON. The Association of Telecommunications Companies of Nigeria, ATCON, has expressed concerns over ongoing challenges that threaten the sustainability of the telecom industry. It's noted that multiple taxation, rights of way, ROW bottlenecks, and vandalism are continuing to hinder the sector's growth. Speaking during the association's 31st anniversary in Lagos weekend, President of the association, Mr. Tony Ekpere, stated that these key hurdles must be addressed to unlock the sector's full potential and secure its future for national development. Emokwere emphasized the vital role of telecommunications in driving Nigeria's digital transformation, but warned that systematic issues continue to obstruct progress. He said, and I quote, "Our industry has the potential to transform every aspect of Nigerian society, yet challenges such as multiple taxation, right of way bottlenecks, and infrastructure vandalism continue to impede our growth." The industry is burdened with overlapping and excessive taxes imposed by federal, state, and local governments. This creates a hostile operating environment, discourages investment, and stifles innovation. Details of this among can be seen on the Vanguard newspaper. Multiple taxes, ROW issues, vandalism stifling telecom sector, ATCON.
All right, Adamimogo FM honors staff for excellence in Lagos, Ibadan, and Duikiti. 15 members of Adamimogo FM Nigeria were celebrated for their outstanding contributions to the growth and success of the radio stations in Lagos, Ibadan, and Ido-Ekiti. The awards were presented yesterday by Prophet Sam Oluwalo, founder of the Christ Apostolic Church, CAC Grace of Mercy Prayer Mountain International Ministry, during the Adamimogo Global Foundation's Buluaga Convention at Jesus City, Lekki, Lagos. The recognition highlighted exemplary achievements in marketing strategy, presentation, diligence, dress sense, and social media engagement across the three stations. Adamimogo FM 105.1 in Ibadan also received a special honor as the most hospitable radio station in Oyo State. Chairman of the Adamimogo FM Nigeria Board, Da Afolabi Mokwede, described the awards as a reflection of Prophet Oluwalo's vision and an encouragement to achieve even greater feats. In addition to the staff awards, Prophet Oluwalo presented 2 cars to individuals for their talent and dedication to the ministry's mission. Among the recipients was Dele Dara, a rising music talent who expressed gratitude for the recognition. Adamimogo Global Convention themed Buluaga is an annual 9-day prayer and Thanksgiving event that concluded yesterday, December, with a celebration of faith, gratitude, and commitment. Check all the national dailies today for the details.
And from the Vanguard newspaper, NIN modification, Nigerians narrate bitter experiences as banks NIMC trade blames. The National Identity Management Commission (NIMC) and banks are trading blames over the frustrating experiences of Nigerians with the National Identity Number (NIN) modification process. Bank customers who spoke to Vanguard on the difficulties they experienced in consummating banking transactions said that the modifications done on names, age, and gender are not reflected on their bank's record and sometimes are even repeated with additional errors on the NIMC portal. While the banks blamed NIMC for the failure, the commission, however, said the banks were still working with the old NIMC's portal, adding that its verification and authentication system is working perfectly. Vanguard investigations showed the mostly affected by the NIM modification challenge are married women who changed their maiden names but experienced frustration in their bids to do modifications on their names, date of birth, etc. through the NIMC self-service NIN modifications portals. Details of this among can be seen on the Vanguard newspaper. NIN modification, Nigerians narrate bitter experiences as banks NIMC trade blames.
Alright, the studio line is open for your contribution and your opinion. The number to call is still 0704 700 7701 or you call 0707 276 6278 0704 700 7701 or you call 0707 276 6278. President Bola Tinubu says things are taking shape for the better, even though people may not like his government. He said amidst the tough challenges in the country, his administration had made some progress, noting that there are better days ahead. Check the Daily Post newspaper. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right, we lost that call. Please do try and call us back again, 0704 700 7701, or you call 0707 276 6278. All right, the Naira appreciated by 137.69 against the United States dollar within a week following the introduction of Central Bank of Nigeria's new foreign exchange platform. Data obtained from the CBN's website on Sunday shows that the closing exchange rate, which was 1,672 Naira 69 kobo per dollar on Friday, November 29, 2024, rose to 1,535 Naira per dollar at the end of the week on Friday, December 6, 2024, representing an 8.24% again. Check the Daily Post newspaper.
And a Vanguard newspaper this morning, reverse engineering will help us produce automotive parts locally, or Sanikmi. Director General, National Automotive Design and Development Council (NADDC), Mr. Oluwemimo Osanikmi, has said that the use of reverse engineering would help the country to start producing vehicle components locally. Osanikmi stated this at Asaba during NADDC's capacity building training on automotive component design and development in collaboration with SolidWorks Corporations. He noted that technology has changed the way business was being done, saying that automotive engineers need to respond to it accordingly in order to develop themselves. He said, and I quote, "We need to start thinking of reverse engineering. We have a lot of parts that make up a vehicle, and if you only assemble these parts, it means our contribution to vehicle building is very minimal. If we can master the techniques of reverse engineering, we will be able to produce some of these components locally because the economy of vehicle components is higher and has more multiplying effect than manufacturing the vehicle itself." Details of this amount can be seen on the Vanguard newspaper. Reverse engineering will help us produce automotive parts locally, or Sanikmi.
All right, finally on sports, Chelsea manager Enzo Maresca said Cole Palmer has not changed at all since he became one of the Premier League's biggest stars. Maresca was speaking after watching his team beat Tottenham Hotspur by 4 goals to 3 on Sunday. Palmer scored twice from the penalty spot as the Blues went within 4 points of leaders Liverpool. The result also takes them to 2 points clear of Arsenal in second place. Check the Daily Post newspaper. And with that story, we've come to the end of today's edition of Daily Dose. Do join us tomorrow for another edition. My name is Kingsley Iniovosa.
And I am Ayomide Surulere.